Hey guys, and welcome back to Stargate Yards. I'm Captain Foley.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Cockins.
Yeah, we're here today to talk about the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Episode 6. Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach, and have a little discussion on the vibe and the feel of the show, at least for me anyway. Um, it had kind of a Stargate vibe to it. Just saying,
And
the
this was fun
writing,
because
the acting, the sets.
we did our main review and you said that and I was like, oh, a bold idea, and then you kept going. I was like, oh, okay, that's worth a discussion because that's so many shows feel like other shows in theory, but for the most part, this has felt like Stranger Worlds sort of a TNG-esque thing. So if you get such a distinct vibe, it was interesting. So I wanted to kind of delve into that a little bit and discuss. Is this episode, you know, a Stargate episode in disguise? Could you swap every element for the Daedalus and O'Neill or Cameron Mitchell and just sort of swap them out verbatim? So go into slight breakdown and we'll hit them. So why Stargate overall? What was the main element there?
Well, even before we saw the Jaffa with the staff weapons, it had that Stargate feel to me, and I don't quite know why. You could definitely replace Pike with either O'Neill or Daniel, I guess. It just felt, and I can't explain why. The story structure just felt like a Stargate episode. They go to, that's the thing. So Strange New Worlds for me so far has been very either TOS or TNG in its vibe and feel. This one just took me out of that for some reason, and I don't know why. Early on in the episode where I was thinking this, and then the way it ended also felt very Stargate with that kind of harsh, not really resolved ending.
Or like, we respect their culture, so we've got to leave them. Yeah.
Yeah, even though, as you said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Like, that's a Vulcan idic that absolutely makes sense, but, it was a little bit of a dark ending. I could see that them doing that in TNG. I can't see them doing that in TOS, that ending. But
Yeah, Kirk would go in and rip him out. The destruction of the planet be damned. And we're like, oh, wow, okay, I guess we're killing 6 billion people then for this kid who literally did it because he wanted to. What moment started it for you? Can you pinpoint the initial thought process? Because obviously, I'm sure it was more lots of things built up as it went more than.
honestly, it was when they beamed aboard, and she's like, Lieutenant Lieutenant Pike. It kind of had that sense of, I've been to this planet, or, a couple months ago or whatever, and had this interaction. It had that vibe. You don't get that very often in Star Trek. I think that's what initially kicked it off in my. Then I started thinking in Stargate terms as a result of that, and just everything. And then right down to the guards being the Jaffa with the staff weapons. I'm sorry, but right then I was like, oh yeah, this is Stargate.
And the kid, and I did think something vaguely at a later point when the kid says, "Do you want to come watch me ascend?"
What? Yeah, that's
Okay then, Omar. Jesus. So it's interesting because and you make a good point. Part of Star Trek is, unless you're in the Federation, the idea of meeting somebody from your past is very, very, very infrequent randomly, because the galaxy is so huge, with so many warp-capable species that go out and do things. So that, whereas Stargate, there's only so many ships, so many crews, so many planets. Exactly. So it's a lot more and especially when you're a lieutenant, you don't tend to see those things either, in that sort of way. So I can get that a little bit for sure. The smallness of the galaxy versus the hugeness of Trek. These aren't the complaints; they're just noting the contextual. And then have the love interest. We haven't seen Pike, except with Vina. And that's also that's got a different context. That's rooted in the cage, so we're never going to see it without that. This felt more giddy and as if Jack met a girl on a planet and they had a thing. So yeah, it certainly had that vibe. Trek does do it, but Stargate is especially into planetary politics and dealing with their culture, which is very different but very the same. So that obviously fit in as well. Yeah, the one thing I can speak to specifically is that the art design of the alien, well, is Stargate is exceptionally good at alien creation of art design of feeling each culture to be very distinct. Wonderful makeup, wonderful costumes, wonderful set designs. It really always kind of hit the nail on the head. Whereas TNG was always kind of, oh, it's that guttering or that grating with a blue tint. Excellent, alien. So you see these ornate costumes, and those could be right out of Stargate without any changes whatsoever. Star Trek is a little bit different in that vein. So that certainly, once they get into the big on the planet stuff, that all could be out of a Stargate episode for sure.
It was just a lot of small things. I think added up, and then when my brain was actually in that Stargate mode, like I challenge anyone watching this to go back and watch this episode and just think Stargate, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It could definitely be a Stargate script. Just swap out some characters and I think you're good.
Maybe it was also weird that Pike spent a third of the episode by himself in terms of Starfleet personnel. Normally it's an away team, or you'd have Kirk and Spock, or at least 2 people, whereas you would expect Jack to do his own side story, or Daniel, or anyone on the planet with the girl. Don't think twice. Was it not unusual, but you wouldn't necessarily think Kirk would go by himself. He'd have a team, or at least some people. So that was also a slightly odd context thing, just not like they normally would do. Yeah, you've also got to remember that Stargate has a habit of having the special, advanced, or chosen one children. They've had them multiple times, and so as well, you see the special child who's obviously more advanced, and he spoke in a very techno way, which again happens in Stargate many a time. That also happened to feel obviously ascending at the end. So yeah, definitely a few small things, and if you do just picture it swapping out, like I said, the Enterprise to the Daedalus, thingy for Mitchell or O'Neill, the lady for just the lady, the story would be almost entirely unchanged. Functionally, there wouldn't be anything you have to change.
And even down to the Lon and Uhura storyline, Teal'c is training a new SG-1 or an SG officer. Maybe not SG-1. It just kind of has that vibe to it. Like, don't touch things. Anyway, guys, make sure you check out those other videos, like our live breakdown of this episode, as well as our edited one as well. And leave your thoughts down below. What you thought about this idea of it being Stargate-esque in the script. Because a lot of times you can get a sense that this was written for TOS or this was written for TNG, especially in TNG's early days. It felt very TOS script-like. So, anyways, let us know your thoughts down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for lives where we discuss this kind of stuff and much, much more. We do love talking about all things sci-fi, so join us for those if you can.
And to support us directly, what we do here on the channel, which is all for free, but it needs your direct support, then Patreon, which is monthly, join the channel, also monthly, PayPal one time at trekyards@hotmail.com, or a super chat on our lives, or a super thanks on our videos. Oh my god, so many super things you can do. All help, any one, but many do. If you can, please do. If you can't, don't worry, we'll be here anyway. But thanks in advance.
So until next time, I forget what rank you gave yourself.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel Cockings. That's him.
What do you want to be? What do you want to be today, Stuart?
I'd be a major.
Ooh, Major Foley.
I'm always Major Foley. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.